move past Halloween into Thanksgiving and the Christmas holiday break. It's right around the corner. So today we're here to spend some time with Peter Avery. Peter Avery, if you don't know this already, is the director of theater for the New York City Department of Education and the Office of the Arts and Special Projects. So he oversees theater education in approximately 1,600 schools across the 5 boroughs of New York City, and his responsibilities include curriculum development, ongoing professional development of DOE theater teachers, coordination with cultural organizations and higher education, like NYU, collaboration and oversight and funding initiatives for theater education, school support with principals for theater programming, promoting theater study and performance opportunities for students, and supporting the mission and goals of the Arts Office. It's a lot. Peter,
it's too much.
It's too much. Peter previously served as the Education and Outreach Director for Disney Theatrical Productions, where he was hired to develop and lead Disney's first ever education department for their Broadway productions. And before working with Disney, he served as Director of Theater for Tada Youth Theater, where he directed all educational programs and residencies. There's a lot more.
I realized I didn't taking the whole part. It's fine.
He was born in a small
born in the 20th century.
Well, one last thing I'll say then is he was a contributing writer to the landmark Blueprint for Teaching and Learning in Theater, which I think everyone in this room knows what Blueprint is. I'm not sure about maybe your class too. And so he subsequently provided theater training and professional development to theater specialists as a DOE theater facilitator. And that's where I'll stop. See, that's only half the page. There's another half to go, but I'll now turn it over to Peter Avery.
So, hi everybody. How you guys doing? So one thing is always interesting when you're out there teaching. Who here has been a teacher before? Like teaching in a school system, whether in New York or not? Okay. And who has already done some student teaching? Okay. So you're me, you walk into a room. I know actually that there's 3 different classes here, is that right? Okay. But I walk in here, what would be the first thing that I would notice as a new teacher or instructor coming in? Look around you, what would I notice? Tell me a couple things you notice, you're aware of. Just call them out. Yeah.
There are clusters of groups.
There's clusters of students, yeah. What else?
It's mostly women.
Mostly women. What else? Good, keep going.
Different ages.
Different ages. There's 2 columns, which are not really great for teaching, right? Is there room to move in this space? No. So I was actually thinking of even, and you guys are like fortunate you're spared, I was thinking of maybe doing a quick exercise with you guys on your feet, but there's really not enough space for this many people. What else do you notice? Different ethnicities. What about physical stuff? Not even students individualized, but more kind of like the cluster seating thing. What do you notice about where people are? Yeah. What were you going to say?
Everybody's in the back.
Yeah, everybody's in the back. Not you guys, but there's a majority of people in the back, right? So it's just something, why? Just a curiosity. So it doesn't really mean anything. We don't want to make generalizations about students in the front, etc. Students in the back. It might be like eyesight, right? Or it might be I need to leave early today, whatever it is. But it could also be something about comfort with a new space. And when you go in with new students, one of the things that we have to do as theater teachers is, all teachers should be doing this, as theater teachers especially, is create a kind of a welcoming environment, right? An opportunity for kids to take risks, adults to take risks, and to take risks on many levels, personal, creative, right? You guys pedagogical, hopefully. So just to kind of be aware that environment, the role that environment plays. And many of you will be hopefully teaching theater in New York City, hopefully, but elsewhere as well. We need theater teachers all over this country. But you're going to be doing things called push-in. You know what that is? What a push-in teacher is? Anybody know that term? What is it, push-in?
So when you walk into a classroom and you teach drama in a classroom that's already laid out and working.
Yeah, rather than having your own dedicated space. Ideally, you'd have a theater. If not that, an activity room. If not, a dance room that you share with the dance teacher. But a lot of times you're going to be pushing into a space, and you're going to have to get like this. Maybe some desk security, you have to get them out of the way. You've done that, right? Student teachers, get them out of the way and go. So being aware that all of the different things that are kind of put on you, even before you do your lesson plans and your curriculum and all the great things that you want to do, and you come in that moment, and things are thrown, right? You're told 30 kids, there's 10 kids. Okay. So all of those things are factors just to be, that are put on top of you that you need to roll with and be flexible with. I came up with some tips for you guys as teachers, which we'll look over later. But my first rule of thumb is to be prepared, to be flexible. Right? So many of you probably have go in with 50 exercises and activities. And you only get to 4 or 5, and you're like, that's okay, I was over-prepared. I would like to challenge that assumption and say, why are you choosing those activities? What's your goal? How are you starting the lesson? How are you ending it? I think the thing we have as theater artists have a heads up on most teachers is that you can think of a session, a classroom, as almost like a mini rehearsal or even a performance, right? 24-hour play kind of thing. If you think of each class that you teach as a mini theatrical experience, whether you're teaching theater history or performance or anything, process drama, but to engage your students in that journey of walking through this doorway is not back into room 520, whatever this is, but this is our time from 5 o'clock to 6:30 to talk deeply about theater, to answer some questions you guys might have that I hopefully can answer. Probably more that I can't, but I'll just say I'll get back to you if I don't know those answers, right? And for you guys to kind of say, oh, okay, I took away something from that day. Or I know what I don't want to do listening to. Whatever it is, just making some informed decisions. Are we on the same page so far? Yeah. Kind of? Yeah? All right, good. So I was asked to talk about a couple things. How many of you are familiar with what the Arts Office does? The Office of Arts and Special Projects, where I work. All right, not many. All right, good. So my background, you heard a little bit about what I do now, but I come from being an actor in DC, quickly falling into teaching artist work and loving it, and realizing that as much as I love the sound of applause, I actually love this silent aha that I saw happening in working with young people, especially at-risk youth in DC. That was back in the early 90s. I think all kids are at risk now, economic or not. I think every kid is at risk. We don't see the lower economic kids. They're not the ones that necessarily, unfortunately, are doing the cutting. A lot of that type of stuff. And some, majority of the suicide and this type of thing. So economic is just one issue. But all kids are at risk wherever you're teaching. So that's how I started as a teaching artist. And I went back to grad school and did an MFA in theater education and started teaching at American University, and I had my own commedia troupe in DC for a while, doing street performance, and then worked at the Shakespeare Theater, and then came to New York about 10 years ago. So that was the lead up to here. But if I could, I'd love to hear each one of your own journeys, because I bet they're all different. And if you haven't shared them with each other, you should. Because I think one of the things that's happening here is you're building friendships and collegial relationships, whether it's a small cluster or not, that this room of people are going to be an incredible network for you going forward. Because when you get out into a school, you're going to feel very lonely. Okay? Yesterday I had a professional development for theater teachers. Where's my friend? Mike? Is he here? No?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, me! So he was able to join us. He stuck in yesterday. And we had about 100 theater teachers from all over the city, from the Guardian, professional performing arts school, to a pre-K teacher in Jamaica, Queens, the whole gamut in terms of experience, new, old, process drama, major productions where kids are going on to Broadway, everything in between. The commonality for most of them was they felt they could breathe because they were among peers. Oh, you guys get me. I'm in a school where I'm the only art teacher. Maybe there's a visual art teacher, but I'm definitely the only performing art teacher. And the principal comes down into my room and walks in and says, "What is going on here? This is absolute chaos. You have no classroom management. I'm going to send you to Rikers Island or PD or something to figure out how to do it better, okay? So you can kind of observe better classroom management, whatever that is." The reality is that we know that it's not chaos. As I said yesterday, it's structured ambiguity. Right? You know where it's going. The students are involved, they're engaged, they're letting loose, but that's not the standard classroom environment. So in addition to the curriculum and the lesson plans and all those things, in addition to the environment, is the perception and support that's also layered on top. And I'm not saying these things to scare you away. I'm saying them actually that you can embrace them and turn them on their head. And you can be someone who can be the person who can actually get the school environment, the faculty, other subject areas, and principals and the parents to see the value of arts education and theater education. You You with me? I'm not sure. Okay, good.